Hello everybody, this is Ian, author of the Lean Media book blog and video channel available from leanmedia.org. Today I'm going to be talking about self-publishing on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing and using A+ content. And this is a fantastic new feature that's been enabled in Amazon KDP. I'm going to show you the basics of how it works and how to use it. But I highly recommend, if you do have books published through KDP, whether you're a self-published author or you're a small publisher like me, to take advantage of this feature, because this really is a potential game changer. Also, if this helps you, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And disclaimer, you're responsible for following the relevant terms, and your experience may be different than what I show you. So let's get started here. And actually, a good place to start is taking a look at a normal book description. This is one of the books that we publish, Crowdfunding Basics in 30 Minutes. And if you scroll down, this is the Amazon product page. And if you scroll down, you'll see that I have a description here. The description's actually, I think it's a pretty good description. It uses bolded text. It has bullet points. Talks a little bit about the author. But there's other than that, it's pretty plain vanilla. And the only image you see is the cover, and then there's the back cover, and I think there's look inside, so you can see some basic things about the book. And these have been standard features on Amazon KDP published paperbacks and Kindle books for many years right now. If you want to learn more about the author, you'd have to click on Michael J. Epstein here, and he has a page, or you click on the little icon right here. Now, the problem with this is it doesn't really show much else. It's just a description of the book, and then there's some other links to learn more information. Let's take a look at another book that we publish. It's actually a cheat sheet. It has an ISBN. You can see that it has a description, kind of similar actually, bullet points, some information about what it is. But then if you scroll down on the page, you'll see that there's some other content too. It says from the publisher, and then you can see images. There's more bullet lists, lots more images, different modules. I have a comparison chart here. All of this stuff is called A+ content. This has been available to kind of bigger publishers for a long time. It's also been available to merchants on Amazon who have their own registered brand with Amazon. They let you create stuff like this. And indeed, for one of my other products I sell on Amazon that's not a book, has a UPC code, I do use A+ content there as well. But the great news is now people on Amazon KDP, many of them self-publishers, can create this content themselves. It's not easy. I have to tell you right up front that this is not like, oh yeah, just throw together some stuff. You really want to be careful with how you think through what your A+ content will be. Certainly for fiction, it's a little bit harder, but I do have some suggestions about that. And then also, as with writing your description, your regular product description in KDP or on any other platform, you really have to check the spelling, check the grammar, make sure that you're writing marketing copy. You're not writing like a summary, like a plot summary of what the book is about, or giving everything away. You're kind of teasing about it, getting people more interested, so hopefully that they'll buy or they'll read the book. So that's some basic advice there. And let's get started with actually kind of working on an A+ page, A+ content for this particular book, Crowdfunding Basics in 30 Minutes, which is one of the books we publish, but currently there's no A+ content. There's just the basic description. Okay, so go to Amazon KDP, sign in. You'll come to this page. You can see I have all my books down here. What I want is marketing. And then you'll see they have this new A+ content module down here. There's some examples, some guidelines. The guidelines, by the way, are interesting, and they're very specific. Actually, let's take a quick look at that. As usual, it has lots of do not do this. So do not include pricing, promotional details, or discounts, affordable, bonus free. They don't allow custom reviews in A+ content. They don't put time-sensitive information, new, latest, on sale now, all that stuff. Publication quotes, a maximum of 4 quotes or endorsements are allowed. Quotes should only be from well-known publications or public figures. So if your book got a review from a well-known public figure, for instance, another author, or maybe from Kirkus or Publishers Weekly, you could use it in there. There's also, they say, if your book won an award, you can't use an award that's more than 2 years ago. So that's pretty interesting. Anyways, let's go back to A+ content. Remember, go to marketing. You'll come to this page, A+ content, first you have to choose a marketplace. And by the way, the A+ content that you put on Amazon.com may not show up in these other marketplaces. So you might have to do that separately. So I'm going to do Amazon.com. That's the US main marketplace. And then click the button that says Manage A+ Content. Okay, you'll come to this particular page. I just want to explain something here. I do have one active A+ content for this particular book, and you can see it says approved. I also have one for crowdfunding, August 2021, and it says draft. So I've actually started it, but I didn't finish it. ASINs. So as you may know, each book has an ASIN. A paperback book will be based, the ASIN will be based on the 10-digit ISBN. For a Kindle book, it will be an Amazon-provided ASIN, which has letters and numbers in it. So this particular book, Acid Reflux and Heartburn in 30 Minutes, it has two ASINs. One of them is the Kindle book. The other one is the paperback book. I also have a hardcover edition of this book. However, the hardcover edition is not associated with Amazon KDP. Therefore, I cannot add that as A+ content. So be aware of that. If you have 3 or 4 versions of the book, like an audiobook and hardcover edition, maybe you won't be able to add the ASINs to it. In fact, you probably will not be able to do that using Amazon KDP, because KDP only does Kindle books and paperback print-on-demand books. Okay. The other thing you can do, I should add about this, is if you want to, and actually I did this with this particular A+ content, I created kind of like a broad type of A+ content describing the brand and the Microsoft, basically the Microsoft cheat sheets. I have about 10 or 12 of them. And I applied this A+ content, the same A+ content, to every single one of them. And this is a very big time-saving measure. It means I don't have to create 12 different pieces of A+ content. I just had a single piece of A+ content, and I applied it to 12 ASINs. And it all looks the same. And then you can see I even have a comparison chart down here for the main ones. So just keep that in mind when you're creating your content. All right, let's get back here. Let's do this. Let's look at crowdfunding August 2021. And it's still draft. You can see status is draft, and I'm still at the state where I've created a very basic thing, and I could actually take a look at see what it looks like. This is what it looks like right now, but I want to do a little bit more than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Edit. And actually, the other way you would do this is you could go back to A+ Content Manager, and then you could do Start Creating A+ Content, and you would start right from scratch. But let's pretend that we've already passed the stage of Start Creating, and we actually have something, because I just want to move things along a little bit. One thing that you should do before you create your A+ content is you should have some content assets ready to go. I highly recommend having the following content assets open in front of you. One, if your website has, if you have a book website, a dedicated book website, as I do, crowdfundingin30minutes.com, open this up, because you can take some of the information you already have on here, for instance, the author page, and you can take text from that, copy it, and then you can paste it right into the Amazon A+ content generator. I also have this picture ready that I can also use for it. Maybe I could do some. Maybe I could also use this particular resource. I created a resource like what is crowdfunding exactly, okay? And I could paste it right in there. In fact, I think I might have even done that. Crowdfunding involves raising money through small contributions from a large number of people using online platforms. I probably got that right. Yeah, here it is. I got it right from here. I edited it down a little bit, so I didn't mention the specific patterns, but the specific platforms. But basically, what I'm doing is I'm taking the text from the website, and then creating a new, pasting this into a module. So let's pretend that we're continuing to edit, and this is what it will look like. First of all, you have to give the content a name. So I've already done that. Crowdfunding August 2021, and then you have these modules. I'll just explain a little bit what the modules, what some of these things do. For one thing, oftentimes the module, they'll have like a headline, then they'll have a subheadline, then they'll have a paragraph, then they'll have an image over here, and then they'll have like bullet points over here. So you could do something like this book includes, all right? Enter bullet point here. Overview of popular crowdfunding platforms. Okay. So then I'm going to just You don't have to hit return, just hit add bullet point, and you can add another one. And what I'm going to do is, to save time, I'm going to go to my about page on my website, and maybe I can take this bullet right here. All or nothing campaigns versus partial funding campaigns versus patronage systems. Let's just paste that right in. You have a limit of 100 characters per bullet point, and so you can see I still have 24 left. That still works out. Time requirements for organizers, that's a pretty good one. Let's put that right in there. What else? Best practices for tiered rewards. Okay, you can see that I'm really cruising through this. 6 tips for an effective text pitch. All right, so these are all great stuff. I could keep on going on. I think that's good enough. So I think I'm done with this particular module. You can see I already added some text here. So let's add another module. Just click Add Module, and you come to this thing. And this is a little bit confusing. These dogs are starting to distract me, actually. But this is what you can do with it, and I'll explain how it works. So, by the way, I already used this particular module, standard single image plus highlights. That's exactly what I used before. Let's switch to a different one. Let's use standard single right image. Okay, so this thing just appeared here, and I'm going to use the about the author. And one reason to do this, actually, is if you look on the detail page, if you want to learn about the author, you have to click through to his author central page. I don't want to do that. I just want to let people be able to read about the author, Michael J. Epstein, right on the A+ content. So I'm going to type about the author, then I'm going to go back to this is the official Crowdfunding Basics in 30 Minutes website. Click on author. And look, I already have a bio right here. It's actually a pretty good one because he and I worked on this. So I'm just going to take this, copy it, paste it in. All right, it's telling me it's too long. So maybe what I can do is take some stuff out at the end. Actually, I'm going to take out some of the middle part because that's kind of old. And maybe, you know, if you're working with another author, discuss what you want to appear here. But Michael did okay this particular content. Maybe it needs to be updated. I could ask him about that. But anyways, I think this is a good start here. Click here to add image. Now it says 300 by 300:300. That means 300 pixels wide, 300 pixels tall. It doesn't have to be exactly 300 by 300. It can be 600 by 600. It can be 1,000 by 1,000, or it can be 1,000 by 600. But at the end of the day, it's going to be reduced to 300 by 300. So let's click to add image. I'm going to add an image. Whoops. So it's going to look on my hard drive for it, and I know I have this somewhere. Marketing. I think I have profile photos somewhere. So let's just put this in alphabetical. Here we go. Here's Epstein. Yeah, we actually have one right here. So let's just use this one. 300 by 300. Same one. And I'll just type Epstein. They make you add a keyword. It doesn't matter what it is, but of course I use something that describes it. Maybe this will be alt text, actually. I don't know. So click add. Okay, so there is my module. One thing you can do with these arrows here is if I want this to appear on top, I can move it on top just by clicking the arrow. So now this will be on top. I don't think I can preview it yet. I'm actually going to put that down. Okay, so I think this is good enough. Maybe if I wanted to, actually, let's take a look here. Like on this particular A+ content for the cheat sheets, I created they have a module. It's like 4 images plus bullet points below it. So that's something I could do if I had enough bullet points to use, and also if I had images for Crowdfunding Basics. I actually do have quite a few images that I could use. The comparison chart's good if you have like maybe a book in a series. You can compare them in some way. It's pretty freeform, so you can put like a basic. You could put just like short summaries of something there. I put like the levels, so skill level, basic, 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 intermediate, and you can do what you want there. And by the way, these will link off to other books in the series. But for Crowdfunding Basics in 30 minutes, I think we're just going to keep it like that. I'm going to put it like that. Okay, so I think I'm done. I'm going to go to the top here, and actually, let's do this. Save as draft. Okay, your changes have been saved. Actually, I recommend doing that pretty regularly because if you forget to do it and something happens to your computer, that would be pretty bad because it is pretty labor intensive. This is kind of what it looks like. Looks pretty good. And now I'm going to, let's go back to edit, and I'm going to apply ASINs. So search for ASINs, type to find the ASIN. First of all, let me see if I can use the title. And if I can't, it's taking a long time. What I might do actually is go to the book description page, and the ASINs are right here. Here's one of them. Let's see if I type this in. Yeah, here it is. So it just shows, this is it. This is the paperback version. Click apply content. I'm going to add another one, and that is the Kindle version. So the Kindle version's right here. Let's get the ASIN, which is in the product details. Here's the ASIN. Copy it. Paste it in there. Here it is. Apply content. So here's both of them. All right. Next, review and submit. So you get to review it. You can link to preview. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. So this is a new one. I think this looks pretty good. I think it's a good start. For one thing, I like that it has the author information right on the page, so people don't have to click off the page. They can learn about him right there. And he has a very good bio. Like, he has a lot of experience. Like, he's written for, you know, all these different magazines and things like that, and he has a lot of experience, which he talks about in the book. So I think that's great. I think these are also good for fiction authors too, because unlike nonfiction, which you have space to explain what the book is about, or you have bullet points about different things, fiction is a little bit hard to do that with. So I think having an author section is a good idea. I've seen also lots romance authors doing things like having multiple images kind of describing the story or kind of hinting at some mood in the story, which I think is pretty effective. And by the way, one of the modules you can use is just an image, no text at all, just images. So if you have lots of images, good images, you can do that. So I'm happy with this. I'm going to submit it for approval. You're submitting your content to Amazon for review and publication. It can take up to 7 business days for your content to be reviewed, and if approved, up to 24 hours for it to appear on the detail page. So do this. In my experience, it does take a while for it to be reviewed. One time I submitted something and they found a problem with it. I can't even remember what the problem was. It was relatively minor, and I just had to change some text, removing a reference to something. I don't even remember what it was for. And then I resubmitted it. So hopefully in a few days, this particular A+ content will become live, and that will help to sell the book. For more information on how to get the most out of Amazon programs, including Amazon KDP, Amazon advertising, I've made all kinds of videos about it, which you can see on my YouTube channel. Subscribe and like this, by the way, if it helped you out. You can also go to leanmedia.org and click on blog, and you can see some blog posts about this stuff. And actually, I am going to post a blog post about Amazon A+ content on the Lean Media blog, so you can check it out there. This is Ian Lamont. Hope this helped out, and thank you so much for watching.